and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Bob Dylan, another one of the human liches that's still among us.
Got a whole bunch of bronze fucks under my belt and maybe a couple silvers, but I'm still looking for a gold fuck.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the You Gonna Eat That Crust podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Wilson, and with me tonight, my boys, Seamus Rogers. How you doing tonight, Seamus?
Hey. Salutations, everyone.
Also joining me, as always, my homie, the co-host with the most, Gregory Hoey. How are you, Greg?
Fantastic. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I am
Sweet.
as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we got a big show for you tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about the 10 albums that had the biggest impact or influence on our life. Obviously, music is a huge part of our lives, and we've all performed in different outfits, and we've been in a group together, and now we're going to give you a little backstory on, what brought us to become the legendary musicians and podcast host before you today.
Well, granted, a lot of mine are older. Well, it's because I do have a couple modern ones there, so I wouldn't say they shaped me or they fulfilled my destiny, but they're just ones that I just feel attached to, and I listen to a lot, and I like them. But yeah, most of them are older. But it's the same. That's because we live in the digital age now, and all the streaming services have changed how we listen to music.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know song names, what song names are on what albums anymore. They all on the shuffle. So it's new albums come out, or I just add albums even from groups that I'm maybe recently discovered, especially those types of ones. I'm I have no clue what comes from what album.
Yeah, kids have no idea what it was like. Napster and shit.
LimeWire.
Yeah.
Dude, I have such an appreciation for this digital age of music. I mean, it's you think of a song and it's right there at your fingertips.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Kids, even 10 years, younger than us can't know what it's like to sit there waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio so you can hit fucking record on your cassette.
I was just going to say that.
You miss the first 30 seconds of it, or you get an ad right in the beginning, or it cuts off at the end with the DJ's voice, and that's the version of You Could Be Mine that you're stuck with forever.
Or you got a couple shitty songs sandwiched in between that you had to record.
Yeah.
You couldn't record over. I guess you could fast forward those.
And it's all such clutter, CDs and tapes and all that shit, dude. It's I still have boxes of cassette tapes and fucking boxes of CDs and shit.
I'm with it. Same with the games. I don't want the physical disc anymore. No cassettes. I don't want the clutter. Plus, if you lose it, you can always re-download it. Whereas a physical disc, if it breaks, you lose it, it's gone. You let someone borrow it, they don't bring it back.
It's all about the digital until the Zombots, or the Zobots, I'm sorry.
Technically, they should be Zombots.
The Zombots, the more sophisticated kind. When they come, take our internets.
Because I picture the Zobots with, a little thin pencil mustache, a cape, and a black mask.
All hail the digital age, in my opinion. I've fixed so many fucking cassette tapes, had them get wound up in the radio, and then I had to pull them out and fucking re-spool them and then tape it together and fucking twist them back up with a pencil. Fucking CDs getting scratched and shit. Thank you, technology.
Yeah, we used to have to apply just scratch fixer on it or something to fill in like the little scratches.
Yeah, dude. Fucking toothpaste. You put toothpaste on it, let it dry, and then wipe it off. Fill
Does that
in
really
those
work?
scratches. I don't fucking know. But I will tell you, one time, Greg Hoey, a kid I know, lent me a copy of Grand Theft Auto, I want to say maybe Vice City for Xbox 360. And, you know, unbeknownst to me, that air spray, you know, like fucking Glade and shit, is a corrosive. And it got on the back of this Grand Theft Auto CD that I was borrowing from Greg. And I tried to put it in, and it was discrete error. And one day, you know, I'm like, I'm going to try this toothpaste thing that I heard about. Put it on the disc, let it dry. It worked again. Saved my friendship with Greg, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because this is the first I'm hearing about it.
Well, some things you don't bring up until you have a podcast with your friends.
I only have one cassette left, and it's that Ween mix that Steve Portree made me. That one that's like, it's all like artistic. He did a bunch of drawings on it. It's awesome, actually. And
I probably have a bunch
Ween.
Somewhere. I bet
Yeah.
I have a whole hippie crack one somewhere too.
Nice. See, I got rid of all that shit somewhere. A long time ago.
I have a shoebox full of cassettes that are like my old demo tapes and 4-track recordings, and I know I have somewhere a tape of my first band, fucking Rusted Nail. Pretty sure the other two members are dead at this point, so rest in peace, other two members. But I still got that shit,
Were you a 9 Inch Nail cover band?
dude. We were shit. We were like
Soundgarden cover band.
Nah, we were trying to be Nirvana, but with a poppier sound. I don't know. It was terrible.
Was that Ron in there?
Yeah. Ron Gray and Sean Elliott.
Sean Elliott passed as well?
I mean, probably.
Oh, man. Hey, Sean, thanks for listening.
He did excel at that one drum beat, so, you know, he was valuable.
I remember he was playing in Profound Underground when Andy left, and I got a chance to play with you guys, and we got to play at Kobe's, and we were playing, and he just like dropped the drumstick and just like stopped the song.
Sounds about right.
It's classic.
Any hoozles, let's get to the topic at hand, boys. Seamus, I want to know what your number 10, you know, I guess important album or still kept on rotation after all these years album is for you.
Well, this is probably the album that I feel I had to add that disclaimer because this is probably the most recent album on my list. It's 2014, Beck, Morning Phase.
It's a gentle album.
It is. It's just different. It's kind of like country. You know, like I'm not a big country fan, but it's like I like some. I don't know, like I don't know what type of country it is, but I liked it. Anyways, like upon release, the album received critical acclaim and was nominated for 5 awards at the 57th Annual Grammy Awards, winning 3: Album of the Year, Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical, a Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical, and Best Rock Album. So I think this was the album of the year that Kanye got all fucking bent out of shape because it beat out Beyonce or something like that.
Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of a true artist should have won that.
Yeah, which is crazy because Beck plays I don't know how many different instruments. He recorded
Like 14.
He recorded most of his albums by himself. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I remember laughing my ass off. And the look on Beck's face when like the camera panned over to him was just priceless.
Well, Kanye's an idiot.
Yes.
Jack is a Scientologist, though.
Yeah, that
That's
kind of blew
true.
me
He was
away.
wasn't he raised into Scientology?
Lifelong Scientologist.
Yeah, that's kind of like weird.
Well,
I
you have no
respect
choice.
that
You're
he's a
fucking.
musician, but
You have no choice when your parents completely fuck you up.
yeah, that's true.
I'm sure Tom Cruise's kids are going to
I
turn
mean,
out great.
it's better than being in the Church of Children of God.
I mean,
being a child in the Church of Children of God cult.
In the town
Better
of chimpanzees, he was a monkey.
True. Well, I guess I guess going off of that, I'm going to say that my number 10, most influential album to me was Mellow Gold. I remember when it came out, like it had a huge impact on me and huge influence on like a new way to write songs. And then when I heard that he recorded most of that album by himself, that inspired me to start recording albums by myself as well.
See, that album, Mellow Gold, we were young, and that when it came out, it was just like different. We were all like, it was just, it definitely hit me too. But so I can see why you put it on your list because of where it was at the time in our lives, but Beck's like grown and become so much better of an artist. And that's why, I went with one of his more later albums, but I see why you would pick The Roots. I mean, that's where it all started, right?
Sure. I still listen to everything Beck puts out. So his Colors album that just came out, I believe it was called Colors, was really phenomenal as well.
Colors was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still fucking kicking ass.
Yeah.
I think his last two albums have been amazing.
I've liked the majority of the Beck I've heard. I kind of like dropped off a little after like an album or two after Mutations, but like up to then, like all the and all the stuff I've heard on the radio has been great. He's super talented.
For real. All right, so Greg, I guess that brings us to you. What is your number 10 most important album? Or
that would be Stone Temple Pilots' Purple. June 7th, 1994, debuted in number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 and stayed on there for 3 weeks. I loved a lot of these guys' albums. I kind of fell off these guys as well, too, but Purple, like top to bottom, is just an amazing album. Even the hidden track song is fucking awesome and super catchy.
Yeah. Scott Weiland was a phenomenal vocalist, and
he was a talent.
He was.
Yep.
Another one lost too soon.
Yep.
You guys think it's kind of fucked up that we've lost like more musicians from the 90s than like in the 60s? Like there's still more 60s musicians alive than like 90s musicians.
The drugs are more powerful, man.
I guess so, man.
And probably more available though too,
And probably dirtier and just more cut with dirty chemicals and shit.
Sure.
They're trying to piggyback off these guys a lot of the times and be the rock stars and just like live. Some of them want that, Some of them want like they have plans. This. I think it's a coincidence. No coincidence that like they die at 27. It
just shows you how weak our generations are getting because David Bowie did coke until he died, and he lived to be 70-something years old.
Well, dude, look at Iggy Pop, dude. He's still kicking, and he looks horrible.
Oh, dude, Keith Richards, dude. Keith Richards is the fucking vampire of them all. Betty White, I'm sorry. I mean, however, though, people's bodies are just built differently. It's all, genetics and stuff. They, some people just get lucky. They smoke cigarettes their whole life, never get cancer, and they just die of, like, natural cause.
Some people are luckier than others. They can drink a fifth after work every day.
Yeah, exactly, And
not waste away.
Yeah.
Good times. We have liches living among us, and nobody seems to care. All right, Seamus, how about your number 9? Hit me with your number 9.
All right, so this one was tough. 2 albums, by them were really neck and neck. I'm going with I'm talking about Rage Against the Machine, and those 2 albums they're obviously their debut self-titled album and The Battle of Los Angeles from 1999. Their self-titled came out in 1992. Well, I guess we'll just go with the OG.
Yeah.
1992, this politically themed lyrical content, the album artwork was notable for featuring a graphic photograph of Thich Quang Duc committing self-immolation. That was the guy protesting, right?
Yeah. Thank you for saying that name, too. I was going to attempt that, but I was like, nah. They don't need to know that.
Yeah. Well, I probably didn't do it justice, but I tried.
Yeah, he set himself on fire to protest.
Right. That's crazy. I mean, I was thinking of this, like we were just talking about how bad dying of fire would be like a house to go, and this guy went and did it willingly.
Yeah,
he obviously believed in his cause.
He probably just sat there chill, like took it.
He trained and focused his chi for many years to not feel the effects of the flames. Maybe I don't know.
You got to focus your chi.
Yeah, I remember. This was a Columbia House fucking tape that I ordered. I remember I saw the video for Freedom on 120 minutes. Like, dude, this is the shit. Fucking ordered that one. Didn't regret it for a second. Love that album to my very core.
Was Columbia House chasing you down for many years afterwards?
Never. I've never heard from Columbia House or BMG. I ran the scam twice. Got my 10 CDs with nothing else to buy ever, or my 10 cassette tapes. And I was like 15, dude. I was like, this is the greatest scam that's ever happened to mankind. I was like, you're the idiots who sold a fucking 15-year-old fucking 10 CDs for a penny with nothing else to buy ever.
The same age, I think I got like Green Day Dookie and like a couple Nirvana. Like it was, it's funny. They just give them to like people underage that never paid them back. But obviously, I assume it must have worked out for them because maybe a lot of people did. But anyways, Rage Against the Machine was a critical success upon release, with several critics noting the album's politically motivated agenda as well as De La Rocha's strong delivery. Rated number 24 on the Rolling Stones list of 100 greatest metal albums of all time. The album peaked at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Heat Seekers charts and number 45 on the U.S. Billboard 200, and has gone on to achieve triple platinum sales in the US.
Yeah, they're the shit. Those guys are awesome. And like you said, you could have picked multiple albums.
Yeah, and then the Battle of Los Angeles came out in 99, which was an amazing album. And then they broke up in 2000. Which sucked, because I remember they were going on tour with the Beastie Boys, and I had tickets to go see both.
Dude, I had tickets to that too,
with no doubt.
And then Mike D broke his leg or something,
broke his collarbone,
whatever it was, and then both bands broke up, Beastie Boys and Rage.
Yeah, and then Ad Rock MCA died,
and I'm pretty sure that was a pretty like full out show too. It wasn't just Rage Against the Machine, No Doubt. I think Method Man or some shit was playing too. Like, it was a really fucking weird lineup, and that's one of the most disappointing concerts that I had to miss because it got canceled.
Right, me too.
It would have been sick to see the Beastie Boys too. That would have been that's sick. We all had tickets to that shit too. Yeah, it was some fest. Yeah, it was. That would have been. I was gonna be so sick.
Rest in peace, MCA.
Yeah, fuck, man.
So my number 9 is Atmosphere's Seven's Travels, released September 23rd, 2003. And it took me a while to get into Atmosphere. I remember I heard them on WUNH, their hip hop night, whatever, one night. And, I was like, eh. And then my friend Joe was like, oh, dude, you got to hear this album. I think you really like it. And I tried. And then something just clicked one night. I was like, man, the way this guy writes is really different. Like, he can tell a very straightforward story, but still be funny and shit. And really just get to the point of it. Like, he taught me how to write lyrics a lot better, I guess, in the end.
He's definitely, like a masterful storyteller. He can just write a song about a story and rhyme to it and just make it all flow together. Yeah. This album I considered putting in. This was a consideration on my list too.
Same. I mean, rhyme sayers in general, those guys are awesome. Like, their whole crew, like most of their crew is awesome. Yeah. But yeah, that is an awesome.
I will say that I've suffered from atmosphere bloat. Like, he has too much material. It's always hit or miss.
It is. His later few albums, I mean, they have some good songs on them, but the whole CD is, the albums aren't great.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can say. You can't put, that goes with everybody. It's eventually you're going to start putting out some,
Tell that to Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I will tell that to Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, fucking stop.
Fish, how many songs they were?
Yeah. I know. None of them sound anything like each other. Like, I can't tell a Fish song apart. Like, I'm like, oh, is this Fish or another band?
Bob Dylan, another one of the human liches that's still among us. It's always cool to see skeletons can still play music. All right, Greg, why don't you hit us with your next pick?
Well, mine is a rapper from Minnesota who is on the Rhymesayers label. It'll be POS, Never Better. Came out February 3rd, 2009, and over half the record was produced by himself. It's kind of, I know a lot of people don't know about that album. POS is an underrated rapper, in my opinion. And this album for me is top to bottom fucking awesome. Like, I love it. He can sing, he can rap. It's great.
He's probably one of my favorite Rhymesayers artists. He's so unique, and his lyrics are very just complex, and he's really on top of his shit.
And I don't think his rap name is Piece of Shit.
It's Promise of Stress. I was going to say that, like, because I know most people are like, piece of shit. But he always does. He always, raps about that and, does little jokes. It's pretty funny. Yeah, he's a smart rapper. He's good.
What if POS stands for picking on Seamus?
Oh,
well,
never.
You better be prepared to get battle rapped and put down yourself.
And
POS. Have you guys ever seen the POS where he does even flow from top to bottom?
Yes.
He makes the beat and fucking raps over. Dude, it's fucking nasty.
It is awesome.
His beats are insane too. They're so full. Like, there's so a lot going on in his fucking beats.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in that Prof video, Andre the Giant, like side by side with them, marching with them. Is cool. Who Prof got dropped by Rhymesayers.
Yeah. More sexual allegations, which is too bad. Prof is fucking shit.
They don't put up with womanizers there.
It's from a DJ, not from him, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he seems like he would be kind of a piece of shit, truthfully.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand. Like, Rhymesayers didn't know what they were getting into when they signed him up. Like,
they did, but it's like the NFL till it gets in the headlines.
Yeah, it didn't seem when they signed Prof, like it was kind of, or like you're the one who introduced me to Prof and Ryan, and yeah, like it just didn't seem like, knowing like all the Rhymesayers artists like idea, and like, I mean, not that they're not offensive, but it's like smart offensive, and he was just kind of like, I don't know, he's doing his own thing.
Straight up offensive, pretty much. I mean, he doesn't really pull his punches on his songs.
But his punches, like his backup vocals are like so fucking hype. Like he does it like no other. Like he can sing and like, yeah, he's the shit. I should have put one of his albums on there. In fact, I'm gonna honorable mention fucking Liability. That shit is the shit.
He can sing, but like most people, it doesn't necessarily mean well.
Yeah, no, exactly. For a rapper, I'm saying.
Well, I'm a fan. Anywho. So, POS, keep doing it. You haven't made an album in a long time, POS. What do you guys think about Doomtree? Doomtree fans?
Yeah, hell yeah. He did make it. He put out an album like about a year and a half ago.
It's too long.
Chill Dummy. Have you heard Chill Dummy?
I've heard all his shit. He's the man. I listen to all his shit.
Roddy Piper. Good song.
All right, Seamus, that brings us back to you. I believe we're on number 7?
8.
That's what I said. 8?
Number 8. I went with David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust from 1972.
Fuck yeah.
Interesting pick.
Basically, this was the album where he just created his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. He said, quoted him as, "What I did with my Ziggy Stardust was package a totally credible plastic rock and roll singer, much better than the Monkees could ever fabricate. My plastic rock and roller was much more plastic than anybody's, and that was what was needed at the time." That's a quote from David Bowie. Here's a quote from Chris Cornell on this album. Chris Cornell. "Listening to Ziggy Stardust was a bit like going to college, like the Beatles," says Soundgarden's Chris Cornell, who has covered the albums Lady Stardust and Concert. "The songwriting is incredible. Loved every single song on the album."
You're the one who actually got me into David Bowie. You and like Brian McKinney back in the day.
You're welcome.
Yeah, hey, hell yeah.
And obviously, his greatest song, which everybody knows, is "Dance Magic Dance." I mean,
up the ladder.
Avi.
I mean, fuck, we're about to break out and do it.
All right. Well, my number eight pick is the Weezer Blue album. I mean, released May 10th, 1994, and I still listen to songs off of it at least once every couple weeks. I mean, In the Garage and Say It Ain't So. I mean, those are some of my all-time favorite songs.
Holiday.
Yeah, In the Garage is like my favorite Weezer song.
Same. It's a great song.
I mean, yeah, this album was amazing. I mean, this is probably one of the albums I've listened to the most in my life, and I almost put it on my list too. But also, I had to take a break from it though too.
It's definitely an honorable mention for me. But yeah, like it was hard. Like again, like we're doing this list, everyone's listening. It's tough. Like there's so many albums I want to just put on, older, newer, whatever. But we had to narrow it down.
For sure, and I'm sure there's probably a dozen albums that I totally overlooked to even consider on this list.
Exactly. I remember one today, and I was like, "What the fuck? How could I forget that? I love this. My favorite singer." Sure. Yeah, I'm sure after this episode comes out, like, why didn't I put that fucking album on it?
Yeah, part 2. Forgotten years. The forgotten brain cells. Wait, what?
I mean, I'm still liking the shit Weezer puts out. Their last album was, like, not something I was into because they're like, let's just record an album with, like, a 32-piece orchestra. And I was like, yeah, I'm good with that, actually, River.
I thought you were about to diss the cover album.
Oh, I enjoy the cover album.
No, I already did that.
Oh, that's right. That was Seamus. That's right. Yeah, I was listening to that today. That shit fucking awesome. Sorry, Pinkerton. Whoop whoop.
Never actually super got into Pinkerton.
Oh,
but Craig, what's your number 8 pick?
I love Pinkerton. Pinkerton's awesome.
Shit. My number 8 pick would be Radiohead, The Bends. March 13th, 1995. It's their sophomore effort. Catapulted them past Pablo Honey. It was basically they were considered one of the better known British bands. Obviously, newer era, not like the British. I mean, not like the Stones and like the Beatles and all that, the Who and all that jazz. This album's awesome, top to bottom. Radiohead's the shit. I love all their albums. Super emo, but
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in a consistent state of sadness enough to appreciate Radiohead for everything they represent.
This is true. I mean, an amazing, talented group, but sometimes they just put me to sleep or they're too depressing.
Oh, no. Dude, OK Computer, but the Bends, man. The Bends is so
Bends and OK Computer are amazing albums. Some of those albums in between are just like...
I love Kid A, and I love I forgot what the other one's called, Insomniac maybe or whatever. But I know what you mean though. They definitely got they went like electronic.
It's like Muse. They suck now.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like every band has a shelf life. You can't really, produce like amazing music all the time. People get it. That's cool.
Back Pearl Jam. They're still doing
Pearl Jam, still putting out good music.
Yeah, they're putting out amazing music albums every time.
I think they're still good. Yeah,
I think they're good too, but I'm not saying they're not putting out 10s and fucking.
You have 110 in your lifetime.
I think Versus is better than 10, and I think Versus they haven't really done a whole lot that I've enjoyed since.
Oh, I love Vitology. That's one of my favorites.
Vitology was amazing. And I liked the last 2.
I saw them live, and they were the shit.
Especially that album with the fruit on the cover. That was a good one of the later ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yep. That was with like the with the blue cover. And it was like an avocado. I saw them on the No Code tour, and that was when they were dealing with their Ticketmaster stuff, and it was like when they came out off of that, and it was great. That No Code album was great.
All right, Seamus, hit me with your number 7.
I'm going Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, 1995.
Woo!
Double album. So I was reading up on some of the recording of this album. Apparently, there was a lot of stress in the band during the recording of Siamese Dream, their previous album. So I guess Billy Corgan was very controlling during recording sessions and wanted control of everything. So they changed it up during this. I think this was their third album. It was right after Siamese Dream. They changed it up during Melancholy.
Yeah, Gish was their first album.
Yeah, which was awesome and tough, and a consideration for, goes a consideration against Melancholy for sure. But anyways, during Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, they started recording in two recording studios in the same building. Corgan in one room working on vocals, while the others worked in a separate adjacent studio. And the guitarist, James Iha, commented about the recording sessions. He said, "The big change is that Billy is not being the big, I do this, I do that. It's much better. The band arranged a lot of songs for this record, and the songwriting process was organic. The circumstances of the last record and the way that we worked was really bad."
Well, Billy Corgan's kind of known for being a pompous, ass. Their last album was just so generic, and I could just tell it was Billy on the helms, like learning fucking synthesizers on fucking Logic.
Well, they're all probably doing their own things too. I think James Iha's the guitarist of Perka Circle now.
We need more didgeridoos. I want an army of didgeridoos.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't even know if I listened to the whole album, but there was a couple songs that were good. I mean,
I just think they sound generic. I mean, they're not raw at all. They just sound digital, fucking like.
No, like they lost their edge. They're just like a blase thing on the radio now.
Yeah, there was one after Gish as well too, before Siamese Dream. I can't think of the name of it. It was Pisces something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Well, it wasn't a full EP or whatever they are.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it was EP, like a 6-songer, a 6-banger.
Well, I guess my number 7 is actually Siamese Dream. I mean, that's the Smashing Pumpkins album for me. The one I've listened to the most. I think is good from pretty much top to bottom. I remember I went to West Virginia when I was like, I don't know, I must have been 13 or 14, and my uncle Bobby lived down in West Virginia, right? Now, Uncle Bobby, he gifted me the Siamese Dream album, all right? And then he's like, let me see that album. And he's looking at the back, and he's like, he saw the song Silver Fuck. He's like, Silver Fuck? He's like, huh, I wonder what a golden fuck's like. He's like, I ain't even had a bronze fuck in my life. And that quote will always stick out to me, Uncle Bobby. Rest in peace. And thanks for that album.
Got a whole bunch of bronze fucks under my belt and maybe a couple silvers, but I'm still looking for a gold fuck.
You could make some mayonnaise to this CD.
See, this was an amazing album, but just it got too much radio play. Like some of the songs kind of like got ruined for me in a way. Not ruined, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. I love mayonnaise. That's my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song. I hate the condiment, though.
But in real life, you hate mayonnaise.
You fuck yourself.
True that.
The irony is not lost on me here.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Mayo.
Fuck you, Mayo. Not
I respect
Mayo,
you, Mayo. I used you today on a
linebacker.
roast beef sandwich. I'm down with Mayo. All right, Greg, what's your number 7 album?
August 15th, 1995. This is the album that I forgot. The second album from these guys, Blind Melon, Soup. It's a little bit twangy, but Shannon Hoon is easily my favorite singer. The dude had just amazing pipes, amazing like storytelling in the songs. Obviously, it was pretty heavy and dark as well, especially this album. But yeah, so many great songs on this album. And the dude's like the male Janis Joplin. He's got them pipes. And he was on Don't Cry, Guns N' Roses.
I feel like Janis Joplin had more than one hit under her belt, though, Greg.
Yeah, whatever. He died. Like, I guarantee if they were alive, they would have had more hits. And yeah, that's another thing. When we were doing our one-hit wonders and I saw them on there, like, I was like, oh, shit. It's true, though, but...
But they had a huge underground following. Though.
Yeah, for sure. Both of those albums they've had are amazing top to bottom. They're a great band and they had a lot going for them. But yeah, the dude obviously got hooked on heroin, and then just the whole album Soup is about like dying from heroin. It's horrible, like, lyrically, but it's such a good album.
I guess they're still releasing music with a new singer, which no one will ever care about, I'm sure, but that's a thing.
Yeah, like the guy who replaced Lane Staley.
I was just going to say that. Like, nobody's ever going to care about Alice in Chains again or Blind Melon again. Like, you had your time, start a new fucking band. Sorry,
yeah,
boys.
no, I mean, what do you expect them to do, though? That's like, I get it, but like,
exactly what Sublime did. They started a new band.
They have Sublime as well. They have Sublime with Rome.
That is true, but they're just saying it with Rome. They're like announcing it, like, hey, we're not trying to be what they were.
But just start a new band, though.
But I guess you're right.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like a lot of the times they get screwed over, and should the band suffer because their singer was fucking dumb and like overdosed on heroin or whatever, which was probably, what happened in both cases. Actually, yeah, it was, right? For Alice in Chains as well.
Yeah. They were like my favorite band as a freshman.
Oh yeah, I remember we battled Alice in Chains versus Tool.
We did.
That's an epic showdown.
I can't really listen to Alice in Chains anymore. Tool, they have staying power.
Oh, see, I love Alice. I love Jar of Flies is an honorable mention for me. Fuck yeah,
that's a great album.
That's Tool's first 3 albums, not like the last 3.
Yep. And
the last 3 all sound the same. They just run together.
Yeah, like how many albums do they release too? They release like an album every like 21 years. Like,
right. They're on George R.R. Martin's schedule.
Yeah, they're like Pennywise the Clown. They come out like every 28 years.
All right, so that brings us to
number 6. I'm going Modest Yahoo Light.
Fuck yeah.
2009. Love this album. I love Modest Yahoo. They're one of my favorite groups.
Yeah. Oh, see, you just fucking brought that to my attention. It's like, oh my god, like that's such a great album.
Amazing. And actually, One Day, such a great hit, even though it's a radio hit.
Such a good song.
It almost wasn't even on the album. It was a last minute addition.
I don't have much to say on this.
Some people say it's the greatest peace song ever written.
Oh my god.
Such a good song.
I still say it all the time, just as joking around. Like, yeah, I'll get to it one day. It is. Why, you don't like Mas Yahoo?
I tried to listen to the album. It was I couldn't vibe with the lyrical content, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, like a Yucca, one of the later ones, was hard at first, So you know how sometimes you get those albums you have to listen to a few times before they really catch you?
No, that's never happened to me.
None of those should be on this list. But this album wasn't that to me. I'm talking about his later ones.
Yeah, same. That's a great album. I totally forgot about that one.
All right. Well, my number 6 is Nirvana Unplugged in New York. It released November 1st, 1994, a day before my 14th birthday. Nirvana, they were one of the most influential bands on me as a teenager. Is like Kurt Cobain's Why I Bought a Guitar. Well, that and because like every sport I tried, I was terrible at. I was like, well, I can't sport, so I guess I'll try this music thing. And I remember this kid Brandon one day showed me how to play a power chord, and that unlocked a whole new world for me. And suddenly I knew how to play almost every Nirvana song and covered Nirvana songs and bands. And the Unplugged in New York album, though, it just still holds up really well. It's a phenomenal album.
That's probably my favorite album by them. I mean, that's probably the one I could listen to the most nowadays. And I love them. Nirvana was like my favorite band when I was a teenager. Couldn't get enough of them. But I don't really listen to Nirvana much anymore. But like I said, this was a good album.
Yeah,
I'll still put this album on a couple times a year. Plateau and Man Who Sold the World are great songs, I think.
And
great songs.
I actually throw on some like random Nirvana from time to time on Spotify, like you said, with music at your fingertips.
A lot of times when Nirvana comes on, I'll skip it nowadays. I'm just like, I've heard it too many times. It's not me. Song.
Honorable mention for me, Foo Fighters, Wasting Light. I totally forgot about that one. That one probably would have made my top 10.
Ugh. I could never get into Foo Fighters. I love I love what they stand for, but Dave Grohl is forever to me a great drummer and a mediocre songwriter.
Oh my god!
I think he's an amazing songwriter and artist.
Yeah. I think Foo Fighters are the best band out there right now.
I wouldn't go that far, but they're a damn good band.
Yeah, I would. I am. Dude, they're so... Dude, listen to fucking... what the hell's that song? Rope. Listen to Rope and tell me that's not a fucking awesome song. Rope fucking kills. Their band is so talented. And, yeah.
Sorry, I say no. The cool... I mean, Dave Grohl does a bunch of cool shit. Like,
yeah, he's the man as well. That doesn't hurt, you know?
I was reading about... there was a bunch of people protesting a Foo Fighters concert, so they ended up rolling through on a moving stage playing for the protest. I thought that was the shit.
Yeah, he's hilarious. They're awesome. That Sonic Highways is one of the best music documentaries I've ever seen. It's great.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I mean,
and it's like, you should watch it, Ryan, because it's not about the Foo Fighters. They just kind of talk about music, you know, in each studio they record a different song.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. I don't know. Anyways, Nirvana, still love them. Still play their songs on guitar from time to time. It was really a coming of age experience for me, I guess.
For sure, I agree.
And I think that was the first like musician that died that I felt emotionally like, oh shit, like.
I think that was the last time I cried. I'm just kidding.
Greg, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is the Beastie Boys. Check Your Head.
Nice.
April 21st, 1992. The third album from the Beastie Boys came out. Tell me, where were you? Yeah. I mean,
where was I? I was probably at your house.
Cool. You know what? They say words like bitch and fuck up there. Oh, they say a lot worse things than that.
You know,
Greg Hoey Sr. Quote.
I loved the Beastie Boys back then. Can't listen to them now.
Oh, really? Oh, see, I fucking dig them still.
Me too.
I don't dislike them.
I think Paul's Boutique was like an honorable mention of mine.
Yeah, hell
sure. Yeah. I think their instrumentals, when they actually play the organs and the instruments and shit, it's pretty phenomenal. But, you know, can't really listen to them that much anymore. Probably oversaturation. It's just something I've heard so many fucking times. I'm like, yeah, Beastie Boys.
Have you heard that song Make Some Noise or seen the video?
Yes.
With like Elijah Wood and I don't know, Elijah Wood rapping as Ad Rock fucking kills me.
Makes sense.
Seen it.
You've never seen it, Seamus? Dude, you gotta watch. It's like it's Seth Rogen, Elijah Wood, and Danny McBride, and like the whole video is just star-studded. Like they play the Beastie Boys, and like fucking they're like rapping and stuff in the street. It looks hilarious.
Love that crew.
I don't want to say this. There's other people you love too. I'm not gonna say who else is in it, but there's a shit ton of people. My boys in there. A couple of my boys.
I guess that brings us to number 5. Number 5. Seamus, hit me up with that number 5 spot.
I'm going with A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, 1993.
Sick.
Yeah, fantastic album.
And then these guys are just shit. And even when like they came back recently with their album, even without, you know, some songs even without Fife and everything. And that song, like that album, I don't remember the name of it, but again, the digital age where I just play things and I don't really like pay attention to the names and stuff. But that album was awesome. Like it maintained the essence of A Tribe Called Quest even throughout the years.
100%. That new one was sick.
So yeah, like Tribe Called Quest, you know, when they were recording this album, they sought to further develop, you know, their bass heavy sound of their previous album, The Low End Theory. So then Q-Tip started setting up production equipment in the basement of Fife Dog's grandmother's house. As Fife Dog explained, my grandmother gave him a key, the whole 9. He used to just go in and do his thing. Most of the album was planned in the basement, though Q-Tip also worked on outside projects there, including the beats for Nas's single One Love, which appeared on his debut album Illmatic from 1994.
Q-Tip's the man.
This is the man.
I mean, I'd say my favorite part of Tribe Called Quest is the beats, for sure. I mean, the jazzy fucking influenced hip-hop is where it's at, but I also feel like they're like the cool white guy hip-hop band. Like, I'm cool, I listen to Tribe Called Quest.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Sorry. Doesn't mean you're down because you listen to Tribe Called Quest. That's all I'm saying.
I like all kinds of music and hip-hop.
My number five is Tool Anima. Just stood the test of time. Still, every song on it's fucking epic.
Every song.
Maynard, I mean, I think is one of the best vocalists of all time, hands down.
Absolutely.
He is. Him, Chris Cornell, I like probably my favorite vocalist.
Yeah,
Sure.
Shannon Hume and Maynard of mine. Yeah.
And I have to throw Eddie Vedder in there, kind of. I mean, like, maybe he's not the best singer, but just had a good style, and he's just a great writer. Like, he's a great songwriter. He's a poet.
Sure. My first concert ever was Tool, actually, for the Anima tour. And, I mean, it was a fucked up experience because, like, there was this girl in high school, and everyone's like, you need to date her. So I was like, fine. So we went out for like a couple weeks or whatever. They're just like, hey, you want to go to Tool with me? And I was like, sure. And
Nice.
so I show up at her house, and we all pack into a van and start heading to the concert. And right off the bat, like, instead of sitting next to me, she sits in the back seat with this other dude. And like on the way up to the show, they're like making out and shit. I was like, what just happened? And
Burn.
yeah, it was a tough one. I mean, I know you guys know this particular person. Her brother was in a couple punk bands in high school, so I think I mainly went out with her so I could hang out with this kid more. But she broke my heart on the way to Tool, man. But it didn't fuck up the show. It was still one of the most amazing shows. It was one of the many times. It was one of the many times where I was like, I went with a crowd of people and then just disappeared into the audience and hung out by myself.
Yeah, Tool's awesome live. I've only seen
Great,
it once.
amazing album. Another one on my honorable mentions.
That's on my list.
I believe it. And I knew it was on both of your lists. So I was just like, all right, I'm going to go with a different list.
All right. Greg, what do you got for us?
My 5, I'll just say, because it's already on Seamus's list, would be number 5, Rage Against the Machine, self-titled album, 1992
Nice.
one. We've already rambled on about that one.
All right, Seamus, we're at number 4 now. Hit us with your number 4.
All right. So this is one of the albums that it just was amazing to me. It still is, but obviously I don't, some of it was lost in translation some of the years, because it was kind of raw too. They were somewhat new. This would probably have been my top album, like, back in the day. This would have, like, topped my list, but I'm going with Sublime, 40 Ounces of Freedom, 1992.
Nice.
I mean,
Black.
what was that?
I believe I said black.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but
It means I have a distaste for Sublime.
well, you are a loser. Anyways, Noel and his band recorded their debut album, 40 Ounces of Freedom, for free by sneaking into the California State University, Dominguez Hills, after it closed, hiding from patrolling security guards and sneaking out before it opened. And Bradley had said later, he's like, yeah, we got like $30,000 worth of free recording. I was sneaking in there.
It's crazy.
Another guy, rest in peace, was gone too soon. I think that they could have topped this album. I think they had a lot more in them. They were young.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they would have been big. I mean, they were just getting big when he died. I mean, they were big, but they were just starting to blow up.
Yeah, they had just gotten on like mainstream radio, and he overdosed on another one on heroin. Ladies and gentlemen, kids at home, heroin is bad.
If we've all learned anything from this episode, it's don't do heroin, kids.
Yeah.
Yes, please don't.
Yeah, don't. For real.
Don't make your family sad.
Get help. Get some help. If you're listening and you're doing heroin, please get some help.
See, what you want to do is you want to go into a bathroom, okay? When you're in the bathroom, you're going to want to find a black and white poster of someone kneeling on the floor looking sad. Just call that number. They'll get you help.
Honorable mention, Dirty Heads, any
Or you can write to us with anything you want us to cover, and maybe we can make your life happy.
Yep.
need drugs, you got the Crust gentleman.
Yep.
Also,
get your crust
how did your honorable mention become Dirty Heads when we weren't even talking about Dirty Heads?
We were talking about Sublime, and it was in the same genre. So I threw in the Dirty Heads. I think Dirty Heads are in the same genre as Sublime. I think Dirty Heads are the best group in that genre now, in my opinion.
I agree. I think Dirty Heads are better than Sublime, and that's why they're higher on my list with any port in the store.
Oh, nice. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I didn't know that was on your list.
I would say better Dirty Heads than Dirty Needles. Am I right, guys?
Ooh.
Oh, I agree.
All right, so I'll say like Sublime is like how I knew that I was a douchebag hipster before hipsters were a thing, because like I just remember like kids in high school like one day being like just jock kids like with their polo shirts and shit, and then the next they're all wearing tie-dyes and fucking hemp bracelets and listening to Sublime, and I was like, oh, I don't like the effect this band has had on my classmates who I already didn't like. So that's just me being like, I mean, maybe they're good, but I'm too much of an asshole to like them because of everybody else. I don't know.
Yeah, they are good. They're like good songwriters, at least. They were a sloppy band and made a lot of mistakes and played fucked up a lot. And I don't know.
That's my whole identity as a musician.
They hit at the right time as well too. They were kind of like they hit around the same time 311 was kind of coming out, and those guys were kind of coming up.
Are we still talking about Sublime?
Yep.
Yeah, 92, man. 91, 92 were some of my favorite albums that ever came out. 93, yeah, the early 90s were the shit.
The 90s were the shit. Hell yeah.
You little
and I'm not
millennials, Gen X's, whatever you all are. I don't even know what we are. But
I'm a Gen Xer.
Biased. We are biased.
Oh, fucking idiot.
Good stuff. All right, I guess my number 4, and this was like, I don't even remember, like, I just remember, like, we had a bunch of skate videos and shit at the apartment I was living in, and I kept hearing, like, a couple of the videos had, like, Jurassic 5 songs. Nice. And I was like, man, this is the fucking shit. This is the kind of hip-hop I want to listen to. And, I saw their name in the credits, and, like, one day at Bull Moose Music, I just happened to come across the fucking Jurassic 5 Quality Control CD, and I don't think it left my CD player for over a year, probably.
Same. Amazing album. I almost considered it on my list, too. That's why when I saw you had it on, I was like, word.
Charlie do not.
Oh, yeah, such a good album.
It's everything I love about hip-hop groups, especially, and their beats are just fucking fire, and the way they flow together is just amazing, and I'm very pro that album for sure. Charlie Tune is the fucking man, dude.
Charlie Tune is the man. Yeah, it's a sick album. Hell yeah. Like 5 MCs and 2 DJs or something like that.
Yep. Good stuff. Greg, what do you got for number 4?
These guys kind of like grew on me after a while. Like not really grew on me. I just kept on hearing songs, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be into them. But Cage the Elephant, Melophobia, and Cage the Elephant could be one of my favorite bands right now. They're kind of starting to hit the annoying status when they're kind of starting to get like, too popular.
I think they've always been on the annoying status. Not like in general. Like I think they're a great group. I think they have some amazing songs, but I think like half the songs on their albums are like meh.
See, I disagree. I think Melophobia, they should have won the Grammy for. They got nominated for Grammy for, and then the next one was produced by the dude from Black Keys, and I was like, oh, they're going to win a Grammy for this, and they did. They've won back-to-back Grammys. They have your boy Beck in their latest Grammy album.
Love me the Black Keys. They're one of my favorite groups now, and I didn't put them on my list, but I so did. But there was so many out. There's not just one album that stands out by them either.
Well, the cool thing about this one was like for Melophobia, Cage the Elephant attempted to distance themselves from comparisons of the sound that influenced them, like shutting themselves off from as much recorded music as possible. Melophobia means fear of music. That's kind of cool. So they're just trying to like get away from what they were doing, but I love all their albums. I started off with Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, and I thought they were one-hit wonders, and then I just kind of kept on hearing their songs on the radio, And then I heard Cigarette Daydreams, which is off this album, and yeah, this fucking album is amazing. Melophobia.
It was a good album.
I think it was the Borderlands Telltale game, but I think that has No Rest for the Wicked in it. Kicks in right in the beginning.
No, it's Borderlands 1.
Borderlands 1.
Is it? Yeah, dude. That song got me so fucking hyped to play that game.
It's a great song.
That's a fucking great song.
Still one of their best songs.
I love to cover that. When we cover that song, I don't want to fucking pat myself on the shoulder. But, yeah. The song's the shit.
So we on our top threes now?
We are on the top threes, baby.
Oh, shit, son.
So, Seamus, why don't you hit us with your number 3?
All right, well, I'm going with the Dirty Heads. Greg gave me a little reveal earlier.
Ooh.
But so this one was tough because their debut album, Any Port in the Storm, 2008, and their self-proclaimed album, which was their 5th studio album, The Dirty Heads, in 2016. So I guess I have to give the edge to 2016 Dirty Heads just because Any Port in the Storm was such an amazing album, but it was raw. It was, it wasn't the best recording or best produced work. They grew as artists.
There's a lot of songs in that album as well, too.
There are. That's why, they're both amazing albums, and I love the group. So, but what's with like coming up? That you can't even come up with the name for your album when it's your 5th. Like I can understand like your debut album, you're naming it after yourself, but when it's your 5th album and you can't even come up with a name for it.
Well, maybe it was the first time they felt like the album was strong enough to be self-titled, Seamus.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you need a self-titled album.
Well, what about the rapper self-titled?
Oh.
Well, he should not have a redundant title.
No, I dig the Dirty Heads. I mean, anytime you fuse like laid back reggae beats and hip hop, I'm kind of immediately into it. So
me too, and that's why I like Modest Yahoo as well.
The dude from the Dirty Heads is a killer rapper too. That guy's awesome.
He is for sure. And that's probably another band I wouldn't have discovered it wasn't for this digital wizardry that we have these days. Like that was just a random like, oh, listen to this. I was like, oh shit, this is dope.
Yeah, they got some good shit.
Word. So my number 3, I don't know if it's like a cheat because I technically saw the movie before I bought the album, but it was Talking Heads Stop Making Sense. I think it's the greatest music movie of all time, easily. I mean, it starts off with David Byrne just comes out with a boombox. He's like, I wrote a song I'd like to play for you. And he like pumps this generic Casio keyboard beat out of his fucking boombox and plays Psycho Killer. And then slowly throughout the video, like a drummer and a bass player come out on the stage. And then a keyboard player comes out on stage. And then like conga players come out on stage and just backup singers and dancers. And like by the end of it, there's like 20 people on stage. They're doing synchronized dances and like exercise routines. David Burns in his oversized fucking suit coat, like singing, dude. Nothing is
album?
ever like.
Yeah, that oversized suit coat is crazy.
Which Talking Heads album are we talking about?
It's called Stop Making Sense. It's an entirely live album, but it's the pinnacle of Talking Heads, in my opinion. Every song on it's just amazing, and it's so full and so much more developed than it is on their original releases of the songs. Like, just blew me away. Completely blew me away. So that's all I got to say about that.
This is a great album.
Well, I just added it to my library because I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Talking Heads are great. David Byrne's solo stuff is cool too.
It is. It's really cool. He does some great shit. I'm glad he's still pumping out tracks. All right, Greg, that brings us to your number 3. Speak on it.
The Rack on Tours, Consolers of the Lonely. It's their second album. It's Jack White's band. I guess it's not really his band. He's just the most famous person in it, but he doesn't sing all the songs either. The other dude sings most of them. And yeah, they're super fucking tight. Like, super tight.
Do they only have 2 albums? Is this their latest album?
No, they actually just put out a new one, which if you don't know about that, you should add that one. That one's called Help Me Stranger, and that one almost made the list as well. All 3 of their albums are fucking awesome. But Consoles of the Lonely, to me, they're one of my favorite bands. Like between like Cage and like Rack on Tours, like of like the newer bands I've heard like nowadays. Like they're just so tight. I've never heard a band tighter than the Rack on Tours.
I feel like anytime that like someone's like rock is dead, like I'll put on a Rack and Tours album, and like, I mean, I know that you said they're tight or whatever, but I think they're just dirty. Like they have these dirty guitar sounds and like these nasty fucking solos, and they just it's just raw, and that's what I love so much about it. It's just raw rock, dude. You know, it's keeping it alive for me.
Yeah, one of the songs on that newer album, Sunday Driver, like, I don't know if you've heard the new album, Ryan, but yeah, Sunday Driver fucking kill. It kind of reminds me of that. It's just like a really raw fucking, crazy song. It's awesome. Those guys kill it. They don't allow cell phones at a show, though.
Well, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Jack White's an eccentric fella. Yeah. If you read about his recording process for like some of his shit, dude, like he goes like old school, like reel to reel machines and fucking splicing together tape and shit. Like,
yeah, that's the Rack on Tour's first album was recorded like really old school, and you can kind of tell the difference between the first couple, like you can see the second one, Consoles of the Lonely.
Yeah, he's not a fan of like compressed digital, music, which I can understand. I mean, while it is like the simplest way to record, you do lose a little something from it. It's not as raw as it could be because it's all digital and compressed, but everything's right there at your fingertips. So that's what's kind of nice about it as well.
Yeah. Many Shades of Black, fucking amazing song. Adele does a cover of it as well, and woo!
Let's go!
Honorable mention, Adele 21. Let's go! For real. She's got some pipes. Oh, well, Mandy.
That's who my niece was named after.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, it's adorable. All right, so we're at the top 2 spots, boys. Seamus, what is your number 2 most influential / whatever album?
It's super tough. My top 2, like I flip-flopped. It was very hard to give one of these a numerical order. But I'm going with Pearl Jamma 10 album. And so what helped make my decision put this in number 2 was I think, one of our favorite listeners, Ray RB3, gave us the idea to do this episode. Actually, he said we should do our top 10 favorite albums, and he was nice enough to submit his, which I'll read for you after. But I think his top 1 was Pearl Jam 10. Amazing album, still stands up to the test of time. This is like, how I said Weezer Blue or Nirvana, all those old albums. I just have to sometimes skip them. 10 I usually always keep on. I love like every song from this album. And, Epic wanted to release Black as a single, but the band refused. The band felt that the song was too personal to be subjected to heavy radio promotion, refused to grant them permission. Eddie had said, some songs just aren't meant to be played between number 2 and number 3 hit. He told Cameron Crowe of the Rolling Stones in 1993. You start doing those things, you'll crush it. That's not why we wrote songs. We didn't write to make hits. But, however, sensing listener demand, radio programmers across the country took matters into their own hands and played it anyway, sending the track to number 3 on the Billboards and the mainstream rock charts in 1993. Yeah, Black's an amazing song.
Hell yeah. I float to that song sometimes.
I've always said that about you, Greg.
Yeah. You'll all float.
All right, well, I mean, my number 2, I don't know, it was fucking Rage Against the Machine or Beck, one of those ones that we already talked about. So, yeah, those albums are great. So, Greg, what's your number 2?
Well, hey, my number 2 is one of those albums that we've also already talked about. That would be Tool. And, Stinkfist. I will say that Stinkfist was like the number it won like best rock song of the year or something like that.
Awesome song.
Yeah, and it was called track number 1 because they couldn't, or track number 2 because they might have had like a fucked up intro before Stinkfist. But it was
they have a lot of fucked up shit. Their artwork's amazing.
Yeah. Adam Jones.
Did anyone else have like a hard time sitting through their videos though as kids? Like those videos were so fucked up, dude.
Oh, they were awesome though. They were
I was a treat.
They were. Nobody's doing shit like that anymore. What are you fucking new musicians doing?
Awesome.
Dude, it was disgusting and it was awesome and it was disturbing and.
Problem is, I don't remember the last time I watched a music video either. Like I don't really.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
MTV doesn't even have music videos anymore.
There's a ton of it. If you go on Facebook, like watch, you see videos. Like I've seen like a lot of those Oliver Tree videos. Are pretty fucked up.
Well, obviously, I had to check out WAP to see what all the hype is about.
Of course.
Wise ass person. I do love me some Oliver Tree.
Yeah, hell yeah, me too.
All right, so I guess that brings us to our number 1 spots, boys.
Woo!
Seamus, why don't you let the world know what your number 1 pick was, brother?
So this is an emotional album, a near perfect album in my opinion. I'm going with A Perfect Circle, Mir de Noms.
Ooh, fuck yeah!
Such a good song,
such a good honorable mention for me.
2000. French for Sea of Names entered the Billboard 200 at number 4, making the highest ever Billboard 200 debut for a rock band's first album. So the origin of A Perfect Circle dates back to 1992 when Tool opened for Fishbone. Howardell and Keenan listened to some of Howardell's music, and when Keenan invited Howardell to stay with him in North Hollywood for a few years later, they continued to discuss working together. With the lengthy downtime in between the creation and promotion of Tool's second and third albums, they began making A Perfect Circle a formal project. Most of the album lyrics were dedicated to various people that lead singer Maynard James Keenan knew.
Well, you know how much of a Tool kid I was back in high school. I remember after high school, like when that album came out, we were going to see 9 Inch Nails with my buddy, and
I went to that show with you, I think.
And dude, it was like the best show I've ever seen to date.
Amazing.
Like, yeah,
Nine Inch Nails. I love A Perfect Circle. Even I like more than Nine Inch Nails, but Nine Inch Nails fucking killed it.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails was absolutely amazing.
And I'm one of those Tool fans that actually thinks A Perfect Circle is a better band.
Yeah, I think Perfect Circle's last few albums have been better than the last couple Tool albums. I'll say it, but.
I just think Tool's musically a lot more far ahead than A Perfect Circle is.
Of course, I just don't like Tool's direction. You know, I'm not, whatever. Tool's definitely an amazing band. I'm not taking anything away from Tool. I like the new album. I expected something else, and I love the new Perfect Circle album.
Boring. Tool album.
That Judith song on that album is the lyrics are crazy. When I found out like what they were about, like it's like a song about his mother like believing in God and like she's in a wheelchair and stuff, and is like, I don't know, it's pretty fucking heavy lyrics if you listen to it.
It's an amazing song.
Yeah, it is.
Well, all right. I guess that brings me to my number 1, and it's gonna have to be Ween the Mollusk.
Woo!
I had Pure Guava at first, but the more I thought about it, the more the Mollusk as a whole is just such a influential album to my life. The nautical theme throughout the album is just the fucking balls. Gene Ween is still one of my all-time favorite singers, and fucking Diener can fucking shred like no other. So I'm just they showed me, how much stranger you could be than a normal band and still have appeal to people, and that really influenced like how I wrote songs. Like, oh, I can write weird ass shit that might just sound cool to me, but other people might like it as well. And we show is A Ween show is like the most diverse group of people you'll ever see in your life, from like fucking punk rock kids to fucking hip hop kids. I mean, it's just, man, they were a good time.
Yeah, Ween's the shit. You and Steve Portrait got me to Ween. When I was working at that old place, the cannabis shop in Maine, we had a customer with a Ween license plate, and he actually worked for those guys and knew them and shit. Like, he did like lights or sound for them when they were touring and shit. He was like, "Oh yeah, man, fucking Jenner looks like shit, man." He's like, life has not been good to him. I mean, obviously, but he's fucking does hardcore drugs now.
He does not anymore. He went to rehab, cleaned his shit up. Like, he's looking a lot better now.
He's an amazing vocalist.
Oh, dude, he has such range. It's
just a unique band.
Yeah,
they are. Greg, was it a Ween show that we went to where you wore the fucking Karate Kid shower costume?
Yeah. It was awesome. And there was like no smoking. We just like shut the shower curtain and smoked in there.
Hotboxed the shower curtain.
Yeah, that was a sick show. That was the Vermont Halloween show, I believe.
Yeah,
Halloween show.
That was the balls.
And then
was that the same show where you had your fro and you had the pick in it, and Dean was like, "Fuck, I need a pick," and you took the pick out of your hair and handed it to him? He's like, "That's pretty funny, man."
Yeah. No, that wasn't. But I remember telling like my old roommate Josh about that, and like he ended up getting bootlegs, and it was that show. And we found it like during the fucking Hopper teacher instead of saying class dismissal, like nice afro. But that was when we went in the little mini Ween tour with Ian. Like we were staying with him, I think, because like they were playing like in multiple places in Boston. But yeah, what a fun show! What a great band, and yeah, I'm pumped. It's an acquired taste, I think. Like once you get past a few things, for some people, like they're just a great band. I suggest if you don't know Ween, maybe start out with White Pepper.
Again, one of my all-time favorite.
White Pepper will bore people. I think you have to be an established Ween fan to appreciate White Pepper.
I think White Pepper is normal. Like, it's like one of their more normal albums.
Yeah, like you want it like you can't start someone at the pod. You put on the pod, and everyone's gonna be like, "Shut this shit off now." I remember I was actually at a party. I think it was at your house, Greg, in Dover, with like all those hippie kids over there. And Bananas and Blow comes on, and everyone starts dancing. And like these girls, like, "Oh my god, I love Ween so much!" And then Steve's like, "Let's go to the car and get the pod." So we run down to his car, we put the pod in the tape player, and the same group of people who were just like, "Oh, I love Ween," like, "What the fuck is this? Take this out right now!" It was like, "It was a band you just said you love so much." Like,
only the ones they know.
Yeah, when they had their full band, when they eventually like had a full band and stuff. Like, I mean, obviously it was just them. Like, I like their oldest, like "Sorry Charlie," man. Whew, I fucking love that song.
Yeah, great shit.
Good stuff.
Alrighty then, Greg. That brings us to you. What's your number one album on this list?
Well, these guys are like kind of my Smashing Pumpkins replacement because Billy Corgan became so whiny and annoying. But I feel like if you like Tool and the Pixies and Smashing Pumpkins, then the Silver Sun Pickups, Swoon, came out April 14th, 2009. This is, no lie, my all-time favorite album. I fucking love it. Top to bottom. I was actually listening to it today. Every single song is good. One song is like, yeah, it's all right. It's still good, but it's like not like as good as all the other ones I'm saying. But like, yeah, it is top to bottom. Fucking just, ugh.
Yeah, I love these guys.
I can't even say I've heard one of their songs.
Oh, yeah, you have. You probably heard Lazy Eye before. Carnivaz, which is also an amazing album. I thought the singer was a girl when I first got into him.
So did I.
Yeah, well, I mean, she does. The bass player is a female, and they both sing, and like their voices actually sound amazing together. But yeah, dude, check out Swoon, man. If you haven't heard it, it's fucking awesome. Nice to Know We Work Alone, or Nice to Know You Work Alone is one of my favorite Silver Sun songs.
Good album.
Yeah, they're like a blend of like Tool meets like Smashing Pumpkins meets like the Pixies. That's how I kind of like.
See, I don't think Tool at all when I listen to them.
Maybe like old Tool. I'm saying like kind of like Undertow stuff. Some of the guitar riffs. I'm saying some of the guitar riffs are kind of like I don't know.
Right on. Well, I think that brings us to the completion of our list. Did you guys have any honorable mentions you wanted to name, or have you been naming them throughout?
I wanna name off Ray's top 10 real quick, and then we'll do a couple of honorable mentions. So Ray's number 10 was Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yeah.
Number 9, Smashing Pumpkins Gish. Right. Number 8, Beastie Boys License to Ill. 7, Fugees The Score. 6, Stone Temple Pilots Core. 5, Temple of the Dog. 4, Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction.
Oh shit.
3, Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged.
Dude, that
another
is awesome.
Great Unplugged.
That is a fucking awesome Unplugged album.
2 is a Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders.
Oh shit.
And number 1, he had Pearl Jam 10.
Solid list.
Yeah.
Solid list.
Sure. Thanks
for
Ray.
Thanks for supporting the show and listening, Ray. You motherfuckers out there want to support and listen, and we'll drop your list on here sometime. Maybe, I don't know. We'll get crazy with it.
You want to get involved? Send us some ideas. Send us some topics, and we'll read your list live on the air.
Live on the air, pre-recorded and released at a separate time, though.
Live on our show, but you'll hear it later on the air, hopefully.
All right, well, I'm going to run through my honorable mentions real quick. I had Bloodhound Gang, Hooray for Boobies. I just love Jimmy Pop's vocals and shit. He's just hilarious, and
Jimmy Pop is the fucking man.
The guy can spit when he wants to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I also had Far Side Bizarre Ride.
Same. I had that on my honorable mentions.
Classic. Just put it on. It's great top to bottom, I think. I had Helmet Betty.
Fuck yeah.
I love Helmet. I think they were tight. They had one of my favorite drummers, maybe of all time. So thanks for that music, Paige Hamilton and crew. I also had the System of the Down self-titled album because I think they put out some of the craziest, heaviest music that I've heard. I just love the singer's vocals and how crazy they get with them.
Yeah, he's nuts.
I have POS Edition. That's my favorite POS album for sure.
It's a great one.
This is kind of a weird one, but I had Fish Junta because, while I wouldn't listen to it now, at the time, I listened to the shit out of it and went to a lot of good shows and had a lot of good experiences.
Hell yeah.
So thanks for that. And also 9 Inch Nails, A Downward Spiral. And I thank Columbia House for that one as well.
So I got ones that haven't been mentioned. I had Method Man, Redman, Blackout.
Same.
I guess I also had DMX, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. So I just want a little fact about this one. This album actually came out the same year as his debut album. What is it? Hell is Hot or whatever. And it came out 7 months later. Oh, it's Dark and Hell is Hot. That's what it was. And he made this album in under a month. And it's just an amazing album. And I guess he got a $1 million bonus to get it done in a month. And he just showed his work ethic and went at it and just busted an amazing album 7 months after coming out with his debut album. And then he was on top of the hip hop world. DMX was the man at the time. He was the number one MC around.
He looks like the more gangster fucking Montel Williams. And now he's got a white goatee and shit, so we're all getting old. Greg, you got any honorable mentions?
I do. We mentioned Weezer Blue Album. I also have The Offspring Smash.
I enjoy their albums as well.
Bloodhound Gang Use Your Fingers, where I love all their albums. I also had I have Rodman in Method Man Blackout. Typo. Ween Chocolate and Cheese. Queen of the Stone Age, rated R.
Oh, yeah.
Incubus Science. Deltron 3030.
Yeah.
Great album.
Weezer Pinkerton. And last but not least, the Non-Prophets, Hope, which introduced me to Sage Francis. Dave Pine, shout out to you. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, I would have liked to hear more from Non-Prophets. It's too bad they only got the one album there.
Right. I was actually kind of thinking about that the other day. I was listening to them like a little while, not the other day, but like kind of about a month or two ago. I was like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a sequel to the Non-Prophets. Non-Prophets is better than any Sage stuff, in my opinion. Sorry, Sage.
Debatable.
Sage shit. So I even like Copper Gun. I thought Copper Gun was the shit.
I did too. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for listening. Thanks for the support.
Please send us, any, judging by our list, send us any groups you think we'd be interested in that we'd like to check out. I'm always up for new music. Please.
Yeah, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and send us in some ideas. Thanks again for the support. Check us out on Anchor, Patreon, and again, thanks for listening.
Thanks for your list, RB3.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Ray. We appreciate it.
Word. All right. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Night.
This ends our podcast.
What the fuck is this? Take this out right now. It was like the band you just said you love so much. Like,
it was awesome. There was like no smoking. We just like shut the shower curtain and smoked in there.